Good day. Welcome to the WANA webinar series. Thank you for joining, and please welcome Karina and Brian from Progress Place.
Thank you so much. Welcome everyone to today's WANA webinar, From First Impressions to Lasting Impact, Effective Tours that Inspire Members, Funders, and Community. My name is Karina, as said, and I'm an enrollment worker at Progress Place in Toronto, Canada. And in fact, I recently just celebrated my 12th year at the clubhouse. And today with me is...
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian. I've been a proud member of Progress Place since June of 2017, specifically in the clerical unit, and I've been a tour guide since January 2018.
So we're both very excited to be your host today because this is a topic that's very near and dear to both me and Brian's heart.
So, giving tours actually has become one of my favorite work order day activities. It's a great way to learn about your clubhouse and to share information with new members. I know my first tour was very memorable, and the tour guide was flexible and accommodating to me. And that was important because I wasn't at my best. In fact, it took much later until my second tour to be ready to join the clubhouse. So I'm also very excited to learn from our fellow clubhouses today some of your best practices and experiences.
And so we're very lucky today to be joined by two very wonderful clubhouses. First, we have Unlimited Solutions. Unlimited Solutions Clubhouse is a 13-year-old clubhouse located in the heart of Bangor, Maine. They currently give anywhere from 3 to 12 tours a week to prospective members. Our presenters include Carrie Lemos, the Executive Director of Unlimited Solutions, and Jack Williams, a newer member of Unlimited Solutions, who not long ago went on his very own new members tour and is already jumping into giving tours himself. We're very happy to have them here today, sharing their knowledge on how to create warm and engaging prospective member tours.
And our second clubhouse today is Shore House from New Jersey. Not only are they the first and only accredited clubhouse in their state, but this year marks their 15th year and they're only growing stronger. Presenting for Shore House, we have Rich Ambrosino, the executive director, Bailey Taft, the program director, and Helena, a member since 2018. She enjoys giving tours to prospective members and donators, and also in participating in community outreach programs. Shorehouse has had great success in utilizing their tours to build community connections with both funders and community partners. So we look forward to learning how they've been able to take advantage of their tours to create lasting partnerships.
So we'll begin with presentations from both clubhouses, sharing their best practice for giving tours to various audience. Shorehouse and Unlimited Solutions will highlight the effective strategies that they use when they give tours. At the end of the presentation, as noted earlier, there will be a time period for our question and answer. So if you have any questions at all, please do utilize that Q&A panel box. We really appreciate all questions as it'll help us dig deeper into how our clubhouses can utilize tours to build better connections for everyone.
Yeah, so let's start with Unlimited Solutions, who will be speaking on how to give effective prospective member tours.
Thank you, Karina and Brian. We really appreciate the introduction and your organization for this. I'm Carrie Lemos. I'm the Executive Director at Unlimited Solutions Clubhouse, and today is my 13th anniversary here at the Clubhouse. So I'm super excited that I've been here for 13 years. And with me is Jack Williams.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jack Williams, and I've been here for the last month and a half. Actually, this is my 2-month anniversary, so yay me. And I'm glad to be here and honored to be a part of this webinar. Jerry, you want to
Yes,
start? Yes.
so a little bit about our clubhouse. So Unlimited Solutions Clubhouse is right in the heart of downtown Bangor, close to the waterfront concert venue, which seats 16,000 people. And we see stars such as Luke Bryant and Jelly Roll and the Indigo Girls. It's also the home of the King of Horror, Stephen King. And for those of you who are Stephen King fans, in fact, his fictional town of Derry features in many of his novels and now an HBO series is actually based in Bangor. So despite being the home of Stephen King, we've learned that tours don't have to be scary for the members coming in or for members giving tours. So we're going to talk a little bit today about why tours matter. So first of all, It's the first impression of your clubhouse. A warm, welcoming tour can make the difference between somebody wanting to come back or feeling like this isn't the place for them. It's often the first contact that somebody has, and many clubhouse members remember vividly their first day of the clubhouse. I can imagine that many of you on this webinar today remember your first tour. I know I certainly do. Chris from High Hopes gave me a tour of High Hopes when I was trying to decide whether I wanted to be part of this wonderful clubhouse world. And I am super grateful to him for giving me that tour. So everything is new and unknown for a prospective member coming in. Will this place help me? It gives the initial answer to questions about whether a person stays or leaves, and whether they get the opportunity to be part of this clubhouse. So it's not only showing space, but it's showing the opportunities available for an individual. And walking into a new place can be scary. A friendly guided tour reduces those scary feelings and helps people feel like they belong. They're also great unit work. A clubhouse unit does everything from scheduling tours to organizing, and we're going to talk in more detail about that. It also allows us to show our clubhouse pride without overwhelming someone. So I'm gonna toss it over to Jack to talk a little bit about first impressions.
Yeah, like Carrie said, first impressions are very important. Like I know for me, a long 2 months ago, which is a shocker, um, like it's very important when in a new place, in a new environment, you're very on edge and it's an unfamiliar environment. So, like you only have one chance to get a first impression. And so like for me, when I had my tour or whatever, um, it was very open and friendly and welcoming to me. And it was like, wow. And then, quickly um, started to introduce me and show me around, and everyone had a positive interaction, and it made me feel a lot more comfortable. And I think that's incredibly important when you first go into a new place, and fortunately for me, I have good people around me and from the members of the staff that have really con accommodated me in this transition part of my life. Uh, like there's always something to do, like every single day. Every day is different, and it's like a mystery box of surprises and fun and whatnot. And um, I'm excited for every single day because I don't know what it brings, and I really feel mentally stimulated and challenged and empowered or whatever based on the environment that Unlimited Solutions provides. And like I said, each day the clubhouse like shows a new opportunity and a new possibility. And everyone, like, it's clean, it's well cared for. You can just tell that they care.
So clubhouses are great unit work. Jack mentioned this earlier that a lot of our colleagues get involved in tours, staff and members. Um, some of the unit work we've listed here, but our tours are managed in our street side unit, and many colleagues are involved in the process, from everything from answering phones so that they can gather some information before somebody comes in for a tour, scheduling the tour, preparing for the tour, giving a tour, and then following up with future members after the tour. So organizing that, making sure that everybody is on board with prepping the clubhouse for the tour is all incredible unit work that gets to be done. Jack's going to give you some key elements of the tour.
Sounds very important. Key elements, planting seeds for the future. Um, planting seeds for the future and gathering info coming as possible. You want to get to know the other person, right? So it's you want them to relate to you. and like it's easier for people to feel comfortable and want to come to a new space if they feel like they can relate to the people around them. Because nobody wants to feel like an outsider at a new environment. You know what I mean? So, you want them to feel like we're in it together. You're part of a community that cares or whatever, and people that care for each other. And like in this world, like it's hard enough just being by yourself, so people that are in people that relate to you and um show some kindness and help each other, make things a lot more bearable.
Yeah, so you want to do a quick walkthrough of the spaces, but focus on really what's being done in those spaces and keep it conversational. Share some information about yourself, but not a whole lot of information. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some general tips.
Yeah, when to me it's like when a new environment or whatever, be welcoming and natural and not rehearse. And it's a lot better to just be your unequivocal self and not sound like the person is just another number, you know what I mean? We want everyone to feel like you can be related to and that everyone knows each other by name and you are important. Your presence does matter, and like who you are as a person matters, or whatever. And so, keep it positive and be honest, but don't oversell, don't overwhelm them with too much information, but show them the possibilities or get them excited for the possibilities. Highlight the member involvement or whatever, like everyone creates their own opportunities based on like how they work and their attitude and the way that they carry themselves. Encourage people to ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Everyone, everyone's just trying to get like learn a new environment and surroundings. And so like once you get with all the tour or whatever, then you circle back to, well, hey, if you like what we have to offer and like what you see, you can come join us or whatever, and let them make that decision. But the whole make sure to get the flavor of the clubhouse and the space that you are touring.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, and that follow-up is really important too. Making sure that you're following up. If they didn't want to schedule the next steps that day, making sure that you have contact information and that you can follow up with them for the future. So here are some common pitfalls to avoid. This is one of my favorite Far Side comic strips. You'll see some zebras here and they're trying to give a tour and there's some gnarliness going on in the background and they're trying to avoid it. And that's something we certainly don't want to happen at a tour is, if something happens on your tour that typically doesn't happen at your clubhouse, sometimes those things occur and you don't want to avoid it because people are going to make assumptions about that. So you just want to make sure that you're explaining what's happening to the potential guest and not leaving them wondering or assuming.
Yeah, again, like it's great to set people at ease or whatever. Make sure that you are like you're not talking too much and like you're listening to actually what they are saying rather than just, sound like you're just listening to them just like what's the word for it? It feels like people want to be heard, and if you're trying to let them in, and then they appear not to really be listening to you, but generically just nodding their head until you stop talking, that's not going to make me feel like I want to come here. So again, being able to listen to the other person and make them feel at home is tremendously important. And focusing like don't focus on just the building, it's the people, and really it's the people that matter. The people inside of the building make the building something special because they're all working together to make the clubhouse a better place and a place for future members to come for years, you know what I mean? Everyone's tremendously important, whatever, whether they realize that or not, you know, so.
And then we also don't want to use too much clubhouse jargon. We want to explain what the work order day is and not use the initials WOD or things like that throughout your tour, because people are just trying to get an idea of what the clubhouse is. So next we are going to play a short video that we are using for a virtual tour to help people understand what the clubhouse is before they even step in the door. And you'll see some of the things that we've talked about as far as trying to make people feel welcome before they even step in the door, talking about the people at the clubhouse and not just the space. So we're gonna play a short video and then we'll come back.
Welcome to Unlimited Solutions Clubhouse. We are a diverse and supportive community working side by side, creating opportunities to achieve our goals in education, wellness, and employment. Come on in and we'll show you around. Oh, look, here's our warm welcome from our greeter. Next, here is another one of our members demonstrating how to sign in or out for the day. Over here is the Street Side Work Order Day board. This board lists all the tasks that need to be completed in the Street Side unit. If you're interested in business, clerical, or social media tasks, Street Side is the unit for you. Colleagues are working side by side, accomplishing these tasks together in pursuit of a common goal.
If you have a wellness goal, after lunch we have the opportunity to exercise as a group. Or if you prefer, you can exercise solo on your own time.
And here is what we refer to as the timeline room, which also doubles as a conference room. Here you will see many snippets of our clubhouse history from opening day in 2012 to the present day. Many of the events depicted on our walls are hosted by Clubhouse International, such as colleague training, faculty training, world seminar, and WANA webinars. Through these experiences, our colleagues get to experience the world.
If you have an education goal, we will support our members with whatever you need to achieve it. Here is one of our members working on obtaining his high school diploma.
This board lists all of the members working toward an educational goal. It can be anything from working toward your high school diploma to adult ed to a college degree to even driver's ed or first aid training.
If you have an interest in graphics or social media, we have a presence on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We are always looking for enthusiastic and creative members to get involved.
If you're looking to work, here are our employment boards. First up is transitional employment, which is short-term, 6 to 9 months, part-time, and fully supported by the staff. Next, we have supportive employment. The job belongs to the member, and the staff will support you and the employer as needed. Our third job type is independent employment, in which the member obtains the job all on their own, but will still get help from the clubhouse if needed.
You have access to our computers and printer either to work on clubhouse-related tasks or to work on your personal goals. You may use the computers to job search, work on your resume, and look for housing or research wellness resources.
Finally, we have made it to our Riverside unit and their work order day board. If you're interested in more of the hands-on tasks, such as cooking, doing dishes, working in the cafe, doing custodial work, and more, this is the unit for you.
Now that you've seen all that the clubhouse is about, let's talk about our meetings. Daily, we have a morning meeting where we discuss what is happening that day at the clubhouse. Then we have a unit meeting where members can choose what they want to work on for that day. Our larger meetings include standards review, where we take a deeper dive into the standard of the week, or our weekly house meeting, where decisions are made for the good of the clubhouse. Decisions are made by consensus, and all meetings are voluntary. However, we strongly encourage all colleagues to attend to stay connected.
After the work order day is through, we have weekly extended hours where we get together to do social activities. Some of our recent socials have included going out in the community to local parks and beaches, to barbecues, to having a game night, or just a fun night at the clubhouse.
If this all sounds like something you might be interested in, please call or come on in. Our contact information is shown on your screen.
Great. So that's another example of great afternoon unit work. It is something that our street side unit put together and shows really a first impression, but tours are great. You know, a lot of clubhouses are looking for afternoon unit work. So after our lunch and after our quick wellness walk at 1 o'clock, we meet as a unit. To go over our afternoon unit work, and tours are a big part of that, and just media in general. So I'm gonna kick it over to Jack to close us out, and then back to Karina and Brian to toss it over. So
So I'm the closer now, right?
you're the closer today.
All right, let's see how that goes. But anyway, yeah, it's been a really wonderful experience getting to come here and transition, point in my life where I've been volunteering at places for 7, 8 years, and so this is beginning of a new chapter for me. And in the month and a half that I've been here, it's been nothing but positive and perfect or whatever. The staff, the members, everyone's been so very accommodating. You know what I mean? To me personally, and to be in this webinar right now, and I've only been here for a month and a half, like to me, that just shows that they do believe in me, and it's really done wonders for my self-esteem, whatever. And I feel like my confidence has been built back up again. And so I really can't thank Carrie and the staff like enough for what they've done for me in the last 2 months. And the really cool part about all of this is I'm just getting started, and I cannot wait to see what is next for me or whatever, and the opportunities that this place can provide, like the possibilities are endless or whatever, but really they really mean it when they say it's unlimited, because the solutions are unlimited, whatever. So I'm very
It
lucky.
all started with a tour.
It all started with a tour. I mean, it's crazy. I was only here for like 3 days before they had me do a tour. I mean, it's like okay, I'll do the tour, and it's just been wonderful to like every single week there's something new that they give me to help out with or whatever. And everyone wants to be appreciated, and I feel like I'm appreciated here. So thank you all for letting me, ramble on for a while, but I'm honored to be a part of this webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, Karina and Brian.
Thanks, Carrie and Jack, for that wonderful presentation. Especially you, Jack. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience. I think often we don't get to hear from new members and them doing the tours so early on. Often we hear people's stories like a year later, and it's so nice to kind of get that fresh feeling since you've just recently got your tour and now you're doing them. So it's great and wonderful to hear from you and just your perspective of it.
And for a newer member to have such a great grasp of what we do at our clubhouses, we're most impressed by that. Thanks for sharing, both of you.
And I just wanted to highlight, I love the video. It was really great. It gives us so much inspiration in terms of what we can use technology for, especially around our tours and how to like really connect with our community. Next, we do have Shore House, who has who's had some amazing experience giving community partners and funder tours. So I'm just gonna pass it off to Shore House.
So hi, I'm Bailey. I'm the program director. I've been here for the past 7 years. I started as a volunteer and said I would just do this as a quick job out of college. And honestly, I'm never leaving. And it's been a great experience being here.
I'm Rich Ambrosino. I'm the executive director of Shore House. I've been here a little over 4 years, and I do hope Bailey never leaves. She's my right hand all the time.
Hi, my name is Helena. I've been a member since 2018. Started right around the time Bailey started, so hopefully Bailey never leaves us. I won't let her.
So a little bit about us. We were founded in 2010, so we are celebrating our 15-year anniversary this year. We are located on the Jersey Shore in Long Branch, New Jersey. We are about less than a mile from the beach. So when the weather cooperates, we enjoy taking walks up to the beach, to go to the boardwalk, enjoying the beauty in our backyard. We are New Jersey's first accredited clubhouse. We do have some friends up in Newark now that have a clubhouse, but for the better part of the 15 years, we were the only clubhouse here. We have over 370 members. We have about 20 to 25 on every day. And we have about 60 active members monthly. So every day is different here. It's we're growing every day, but I think a lot of our success is due to giving tours and inviting people into the space because we've realized that tours are so effective.
Okay, so we give all types of tours for Shore House. We give potential members, community partners. We have referral services, partnership opportunities, employment opportunities, and partners with them. Elected officials, state senators, assembly members, mayor, and town councils. Donors, individual donors, and grant founders.
So we give a lot of different types of tours and we cater each of our tour scripts to the different people, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Right. So we realized very quickly it's important to have people experience and see firsthand the wonderful things we all do in our clubhouses. It really kind of makes an emotional connection and kind of brings the work we do to life. We've had some very real world experience, especially with funders. We are almost entirely dependent on private individual donations and grant funders for our operating budget. So we do a lot of grant applications, and in the early years when I was first here, we had funders who were declining our applications. So we made it a mission to get the right people who make decisions when considering these applications, into the clubhouse to see it. And we have at least 3 of those funders who now year over year, we do get these grants approved. So them seeing firsthand what we do made a difference to them in terms of being able to review and understand our application and the work we were doing here. So the member, when we have donors or community partners, a member will lead the tour, but either myself or a member of the staff will accompany them. And we try to make the tours a little more interactive. So I'll introduce members along the way as we make our way through the clubhouse space. And then I'll ask questions. For example, I'll say, Helena, how long have you been coming to Shore House? And they have a little interaction with the person on the tour, and it just kind of humanizes it. And it also helps them envision what more could be possible, right, with their help, especially donors. With community partners, our referrals have skyrocketed as Bailey handles most of those, where we have referral partners come in and do tours. And so we're averaging about 10 referrals, 10 new member referrals a month as a result of those tours. So having the right person here to see it firsthand makes a huge difference.
So prepping for our tours, the importance of knowing your audience, do your research. Who is coming in? What is their background, business? Why do they want to work with us? Preparing staff and members, announcing during a unit meeting that we have in the morning of the upcoming tours and the visitor, and if they're potential members or donating members. We have a guest coming for a tour. We ask if somebody would sign up for that tour to give it out to that potential member or the donor or the partner. We also have a packet that we take with us to read off of, and so even we go off the words, it's okay. We try to give them our experience so they know how well it's working for us as members already being here. We also identified both of the units that we have here, so we take them to both the rooms. The clericals where we do in another room, and the kitchen, and show them all the activities, what we sign up for the day. Also showing them our snack bar, letting them know what we serve in the morning and after lunch. And letting them know that we do have transportation that they can sign up for, and give them the time and that they want to know and ask them if they have any questions and try to explain everything to them that they ask.
So our tour flow obviously starts with a warm welcome and establishing that connection from the start, and making sure they feel welcome and comfortable. We give a clear introduction about the clubhouse and the Clubhouse International. Show, don't just tell, take them, move them through the space, walk around the clubhouse, introducing the members, as Rich mentioned. And then we highlight opportunities for involvement. So going back to researching who's coming in, for community partners, they think it's really important to show, the importance of the work order day, or if it's an employment partner, showing which skills we have in our work order day that could correlate to an employment opportunity with the business, and then asking questions and being involved with them as well. And then at the end of the tour, encouraging them to for the next steps, having a meeting to sit down and talk about what we just saw and how we can strategize for a partnership. So really just making them feel welcome. And then the end of the tour is also the most important part, just making sure that they get all their questions out and they have that opportunity to kind of digest everything they just saw and then prepare for the next steps.
So what we typically do with our non-member tours is we'll end with like kind of a debrief. So we'll end the tour in our conference room, and Bailey and/or I will sit with the folks taking the tour and answer any questions they may have. We do like we pointed out, we provide them with some relevant takeaway materials, and then Bailey or I will follow up with a thank you email. Always inviting them back, letting them know our door is always open. We can also sometimes, have members make a thank you card and mail it to them, right? Just to thank them for coming and have all the members sign that. The follow-up stuff really is the real important aspect of kind of closing the whole tour in a really, in a meaningful way. And we've had, again, a lot of success with these kinds of tours, the non-member tours that we do.
And I think one of our most recent examples that this was effective in is there's a new borough or a town council employee, and he was emailing Rich about kind of getting to know us. And we said, you know what? We can email you all day and give you information about the clubhouse, but how about you come and join us for our Labor Day barbecue? And he came and had a hamburger with us. And I think it really clicked for him to see it in action versus just like looking us up on the internet or looking us up on social media, that kind of thing. So,
yeah,
really bringing
it was
in.
very effective because after we gave him his tour, and then he had lunch with us, and then he and I sat down, and he said, we're going to be getting some funding in October, so let me know how I can help you. So there's a great perfect example of him seeing it firsthand made an impact on him.
So we like to make sure we have everything ready for that person coming in, whether it's a potential member or a
Donor.
a donor coming in. And so we like to have all the packets ready. We have in there the folder with the logo label, the brochure, business card, annual report. These are mostly for the potential donors. Recent news articles about our clubhouse or Clubhouse International, employment flyer, information about upcoming events and fundraisers. So one of our fundraisers we have coming up is
Rock the House, yeah.
Rock the House. So right now we're giving that to the potential donors.
So outside of tours, we kind of have some other non-traditional tours that also get the point across about who we are, and inviting people into our space. So the first kind of event that we host is a What is a Clubhouse dinner. So this occurs after hours. Different groups of people will invite some friends or people in the field in. So for example, we might say like to one of our board members, how about this month you invite 5 to 7 of your friends? And then maybe next month we invite like our referral partners, and maybe the following month we invite all the politicians. And the point is that members and staff will work side by side to not only give tours, but also serve the guests dinner. So they kind of get to see what we do on during the day. So those are really effective, and we try to do those. We were doing them more regularly, probably before COVID, and now we probably do them once or twice a year. But they're pretty low budget. You reach out to local businesses or restaurants to donate the food, so really doesn't cost much, but it's been effective for us. The second event we host is like a open house. So typically we do this around Mental Health Awareness Month, or in this around the holidays, and we invite anyone to come in, potential member, potential donors, potential board members, anyone could come in and learn about what we are. So the members will give tours of the space, and we'll have some like light bites and treats for them to enjoy. And then the final one's probably my most favorite one, is the coffee with a cop. So here in Long Branch, we have a really good relationship with our police department. Over the years, they've gotten to know us, so they bring in their newest police officers every summer, to get to know us and kind of learn how to help people with mental illness when we see them out in the community. And it's really helped to destigmatize the police interaction between members and the police. So now the police feel comfortable just, coming by for a cup of coffee, or just stopping by. And now when we're out in the community, it works the other way too. They say like, "Oh, hey, Helena, how are you?" Or, "How are you guys?" They look out for us, which is really important to us. So those are just some non-traditional tours that we offer. So it doesn't always have to be a formal tour of the clubhouse. It can be a little more fun. So Helena, like we said earlier, Helena's been here since 2018 and really has grown into giving a lot of tours and coming out in the community with us. Helena will be the first one to say like, "Hey, I want to come to that event," or, "I'm coming to this event. I want to help you," kind of thing, which has been really great. So, Helena, you want to share your experience kind of with the clubhouse?
So recently we've been asked to come to a talk with Red Bank Council. Who was it? It was the
YMCA.
no, the lady from court, prosecutor's office with other women in the shelter, and we were asked to come at the end of it. We talked about how Shore House has helped many people with different mental health issues, and how it's helped me. How we're just not individuals with mental health, but we're a family here. We recently also had a couple of our members get married. And I took initiative of it because the one of the members are like my sister. And went up to Rich and Bailey and said, "Hey, we should really bake them a cake for their wedding and we did that, and me and my sister, we always talk on the phone. So it's just not us being different people with mental health, but we're a family. We all care about each other. We take our own time outside of the clubhouse to reach out to each other.
Mhm.
And always keeping the other people who have mental illness in your mind, knowing that, hey, well, how's this person feeling today? I'm just gonna call and check on them.
Yeah.
It's part of our reach out, but it's not something we're doing because we're told to. Once you're a member, you're always a member.
Yeah,
And it's the best way to feel.
Yeah, so Helena's been a great asset to our clubhouse community, and she's not going anywhere either. So, and thank you for having us. This has been a great experience for us to share with everyone about our experience giving donor tours and community partners. Like Rich said in the beginning, we rely almost entirely on private donations and grants. We are in the process of hopefully changing that a little bit, but for now, this is how we've been afloat for the past 15 years, and we're going to keep going. So if anyone has any questions or follow up, you can keep in touch with us on social media or email, as we showed on the screen. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Shorehouse. I enjoyed every part of that, and especially what Helena was saying about the connections we have with each other that are truly like family. And your clubhouse looks just beautiful inside and out, like a real home. Look that way.
Thank you for both clubhouses. Actually, I really wanted to highlight some of the things that we've learned. It's actually really interesting when you hear them side by side about doing tours with our community partners as well as prospective members, because I think a lot of the highlights of it is fairly similar, but it's how we cater to the different audiences that's so important. Like the importance of doing prep work. I know Unlimited Solutions highlighted, getting just even a little bit of information of who those members are, that are coming through the doors, those prospective members, and what they want to do at the clubhouse, really makes the tour really, welcoming and warm. And I think it's fairly similar when you look at giving tours to our funders and our prospective community partners. It's really nice to know where they're coming from and what they, can get from us, but what also we can get from them, and having that prep work ready as they're coming through for the tour. I also love that both clubhouses, you highlighted the importance of less importance in the space, as beautiful as all of our clubhouse spaces are, but really highlighting the mission and the people that make the clubhouse. I think, Brian, we talk about that a lot, is I love the phrase that Shorehouse used, show, don't tell, because I think that is very important. I think just being able to see the clubhouse running and the work that we do and the people that are involved, and how we do the work that we do, speaks way more volume than just seeing the building, as beautiful as our buildings are. And then the thing that I didn't really think about too much, and I think it's actually probably really good practice for us even at our clubhouse at Progress Place, is the follow-up on both terms, right? Following up with funders and community partners, letting them know how they can be involved, how they can participate. But I think also following up with prospective members, even if they may not be ready at the end of their tour, being able to have some of that contact information, and then being able to do maybe some outreach later on, just to say, hey, we're still here, not sure where you're at, do you still want to come back in? I think makes the clubhouse really warm and welcoming. Yeah. I think we're ready to maybe open it up to some questions now.
Of course. Thank you so much. For those of you that have a question and would like to ask it, please submit your questions in the Q&A panel located in the bottom of your Zoom screen. So our first question is a live question from the audience. This is coming from our Independence Center. They ask, do you ask a single member to give a tour, or do you have a team that gives the tour?
Terry, Jack, do you guys want to take that one first?
Sure. So here at our clubhouse, we have a team. And it's usually a staff and a member side by side working to give that tour. One of the things that we try to do is we have tours at certain times during the week, and we try to schedule that team ahead of time, so that they know when they're giving the tour and that they can be prepared ahead of time. Although, you have tours that sometimes just pop in as well, and so we need to flex and go with the flow. And our community here has been great about just stepping up and giving a tour as needed. But we usually like to have a team of a member and a staff together to give that tour.
We typically do it, it's a one-on, one member. And I think what we do with potential members is we have the member give the tour, and staff does not necessarily accompany them. So as they make their way through the space, they'll introduce us where we are. So, this is Bailey, our program director. But when we do the non-potential member tours, we'll have a member and one of the staff will go too. And that's part of that thing I talked about, where I like to introduce the members as we go through, because it really humanizes it, especially for funders and like elected officials. So typically that's how we do it.
Oh, go ahead, Helena.
And also with the members giving the potential members a tour, it's giving that person the individually attention from that member, so that member can show them how they've been part of the clubhouse and how they've grown from it as well.
Mhm.
So a lot of times for us, it's the members that, if we say, oh, who wants to do the tour this afternoon, let's say at 2 o'clock. If somebody says, oh, I'll give the tour, but can I have some help with it? One of the other members will step in and help with that tour.
Another hint too, to make these, especially for the potential members, is we get a lot of times where a caseworker, caregiver, or a family member will come with the potential member on the tour, and we try to separate them. So in that instance, a member takes the potential member on the tour of the clubhouse, and one of the staff will kind of in reverse order do a tour with the family member or the caseworker. The reason we do that is because we want the potential member to engage and ask questions. We've noticed over time, like sometimes a family member would come and the family member was asking all these questions and the potential member was like disengaged, right? So we realized it's better to kind of break them, separate them, and do two separate kind of tours at the same time. So we kind of, the member will start at the beginning and staff maybe will start at the end of the tour, and we work our way around.
I think at our clubhouse, we do something fairly similar too. We don't quite split them up, but I think there is that knowledge of when it is good practice, I think, to have a staff and a member do the tour when there is like a caseworker and the member kind of coming through. And you kind of let the members take the lead and bring the prospective member and have that talk. Just because we want to be a little bit aware too, sometimes when they're bringing a support person, there's probably, we want to make sure that they're feeling safe and being able to have that person around with them. So very similar mentality though, in that knowing that sometimes when you bring a caseworker in, they do kind of take over and being very well aware of them, I think. I think that's why when our members are kind of involved in that tour, it's really great because I think Unlimited Solutions, you guys talked about it, they're able to share their story and kind of connect with the prospective member on that level and really showcase what the clubhouse has done for them and where it's benefited them. Mm-hmm. Next question, I guess.
Awesome. Great. Thank you guys so much. So the next question is a question here. How often do you do this in a year? What is a clubhouse dinner? So they're either asking how often do you do tours in a year or how often is a clubhouse dinner? So I'll let you guys answer both.
We try to do some sort of what is a clubhouse style event, I would say quarterly to start. I mean, at one point we were doing them monthly, but we realized it was a lot of work and really trying to get everyone together and getting the clubhouse to a point where you could set it up for a dinner every night, once a month, on top of socials and all the other things we do. So I think quarterly is our goal every year for us.
And similarly, we try to do monthly. We've started a tour process called Imagine With Us tours, which are more focused on our donor and stakeholder tours. And so similar to Shore Houses, what is a clubhouse? We just call them Imagine With Us tours. And those are happening as they get scheduled, but I would say we're averaging one probably a quarter at this point. We'd like to do more.
I love the idea of both clubhouses just finding any opportunities really to invite people in for a tour. Like not necessarily scheduling them, but once you see that opportunity, just kind of seizing it and inviting them in and making sure the clubhouse is always ready to go to showcase what we do. Yeah.
Did you have something, Jack?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that one of the really cool things about like the tours or whatever and like the whole process is that each member has their own game plan, whatever, and it's catered to what that person needs. So it's very constructive and individualized in some aspects that cater to what you need to do for your goal and what you want to accomplish. And so like for me, I find that really like pretty cool or whatever that there's a very structured improvement on task and like what you need as an individual so you can take that next step to where you want to go. So that was a pretty cool thing to learn as I've been being eased into this process.
All right, wonderful. So our next question here, have you ever had a tour that didn't go well? What did you learn from it?
Yeah,
Sure, else you guys want to take No, sorry, go ahead, Unlimited Solutions. You guys go ahead.
Yeah,
Director.
I think we've all had that experience where you walked away and went, oh, that could have gone better, you know. Either something happened at the clubhouse or you know, it just wasn't as personalized as you thought. I think the best thing that we've done is just admit that that wasn't the greatest thing, learn from it, and follow up with the person that was touring, and you know, talk to them directly about what happened. I think honesty is the best policy on that one, but yeah, we've all had that experience, I think.
All right,
Shore House,
great.
did you guys want to add anything?
I think Carrie kind of just
Yeah.
summed up. I mean, obviously, we just try to get through the tour and thank them for their time and try to move on, and just you kind of got to roll with the punches a little bit.
Perfect. Thank you. So we have another question here live from the audience. Do you have any suggestions on how to encourage engagement with members assisting and giving tours to prospect members and donors?
That's a great question.
We can start. So really, we have a core group of, I would say, 5 to 7 members that are confident in giving tours, and there will be days that they're not here and we need to give a tour. So I really try to, you know, say, you know, I'll give a tour with someone if they'll do it with me, and we'll do it together. And we do have a script. Like Helena said earlier, it humanizes a little more if you add your own personal experience to it. But then, you know, like with any task, if you show someone how to do it, then they build that confidence, and over time, maybe they'll start giving the tour by themselves. So I think that's how we pretty much take care of that here.
And also, it's more of sometimes you can get other members with one member that has done the tour before to step in with that person that's done the tour so they can shadow and learn how to do it. I wouldn't just pick out somebody.
Right.
I would always ask, if I do the tour today, who wants to help me and learn it? Some of our members are more shyer in that kind of way. So trying to bring them out of their shell a little bit. It's the same thing with learning a new task inside of the clubhouse.
Our clubhouse actually has started tour guide mentor program. So we have our tour guides, pictures of them on a big TV screen, and members who might be interested in becoming a tour guide could seek those members out for advice and shadow them on tours. So yeah, same sort of thing.
Yeah. It's a lot of like mock touring, because we find that the hardest thing to teach or show someone isn't so much the information, because like I'm sure you guys all have a script that people can follow, but it's that flexibility and that more naturalness of like when you're talking through to prospective members or to community partners, like how do you get that flexibility? I'm curious to know how both your clubhouses kind of help encourage that, or um, you know, get members to be able to practice that skill.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about. Those nuances are difficult to do on the fly. And so I think getting the more practice, watching somebody else do it, you know, even practicing like speaking up in meetings and those types of things is helpful. I love your idea of a tour guide mentor program. I wrote that down. We might be stealing that one. So
Yes.
It's yours to take.
All right, wonderful, everyone. We have about 5 minutes left here, so we might have time for one, maybe two more questions. So the next question here is from the audience. How long do tours typically last?
So go ahead, Helena.
Sorry. It depends on who the tour is with. Potential donors, you want to spend a little bit longer with, so they get to know what your clubhouse is about and what the members do there and what the view of it all is and what the need is for the clubhouse and that potential donor. If it's a member, you want to spend like at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
maybe more. It depends. We've had tours here with members that lasted about 30 minutes with potential members, which is okay. Taking it slow and just there's no time really to say for the tour or the potential donor tour.
Did you guys have anything
Okay,
to
great.
add on Unlimited Solution?
Yeah, I think it's really nuanced to the tour, who's on the tour, how big your building is, how many questions they ask. So that's one of those individual nuanced things that you have to be kind of flexible with. We've had tours that have lasted 15 minutes here, and then we've had people here for an hour and a half because they were interested in asking questions. So I don't think there's any magic number. I think it's one of those things that you have to kind of gauge the interest in and make sure that you're paying attention to the person that's touring.
Yeah, I think it depends on how big the tour is or whatever and the individual that you were with. I do think that, like I try to take time to make sure you get everything out there about the tour or whatever and the place because, it's much better to take your time or go a little too long or whatever than to, like rush it.
Yeah.
Because then the person feels like, oh, well, I'm like if I feel rushed, then I'm probably not going to feel like I'm going to be welcomed here. So, take your time and just make sure you um, let them know what the clubhouse has to offer.
Thank you.
All right, and for our last question, we are getting close to time here. So if you could briefly tell us what key takeaways should a potential member or funder have by the end of the tour?
I mean, for us, for the non-member tours, it's for donors, it's how they can help, right? So how they can help us continue the programming or expand the programming we offer. For our, referral partners, it's for them to understand, what we provide to the potential member they may be referring to us, right? So they understand a little more, you get a little more granular on the work order day and the clubhouse model with referral partner tours. And I just think with potential members, it's, Carrie and Jack kind of said it, it's, making sure they can see what they can get out of the experience of being a member of a clubhouse.
So I think some key
Carrie, Jack?
Yeah, so I think some key takeaways from us are really to pay attention to who's touring and really listen and make sure that you're tailoring the tour to them and that individual. And every tour looks different here. And so really just taking the time to understand what that person wants and needs and how the clubhouse can fit into that. Jack, anything else?
No, I couldn't say any better myself. My amazing director.
It's like
All
he's
right,
been
well, thank you.
forever.
All right, well, thank you so much to all of our presenters today. If we have not answered your question, you can please send an email over to wanawebinar@fountainhouse.org. The recording for today's session will be available on the WANA Webinar YouTube channel in the next few weeks. A link to this channel is available within the chat and will also be in the thank you for attending email arriving tomorrow. Please take a moment to fill out the short survey that will appear once you leave the event. Thank you all for joining today's webinar. Be on the lookout for announcements regarding our future webinars.